Thursday, September 4th, 1800, at the home of Captain John. Present the same as yesterday, Captain William Claus, Acting Deputy Superintendent General, Lieutenant Givens, Agent, Indian Affairs, Lieutenant McQueen, Queen's Rangers, Mr. David Price, Interpreter, Mr. Nathaniel Lyons, Interpreter, Mr. Ferguson, Kingston, P. Selby, Assistant Secretary, Indian Affairs, the chiefs and other of the Mohawk Indians residing there, Lieutenant Fortier.
I desire that as Captain Isaac had been heard patiently yesterday, I hope and expect Captain John should be heard without noise or interruption.
Captain John then addressed the meeting in the following manner.
Brother, I salute you all and am happy to see you assemble in this place. Brother, you said you was ordered by General Hunter to inquire into the circumstances of this bad report, which I am very sorry there was occasion for. Now, brothers, as you come, we hope you will do us justice and do the best you can for the good of us all. Brother, I hope you will be attentive and do the best you can to ease my troubled breast, and from you I expect justice. In 1775, when the troubles broke out between our father and the Americans, we joined the British and left our country. Having been worsted by the Americans, the different tribes of the Mohawks went to different parts of the country, some to Montreal, some to Niagara. I do not wish to detain you too long, but wish to come to the point. Our great father thought of sufficient quantity of blood had been spilt and therefore made peace with the Americans. When peace was made, we were told we were to go to Nova Scotia. But not liking that situation, we went to General Haldimand on the 27th May, 1783, who told us if we did not like Nova Scotia, we might go to any of the unsettled lands in this country. We therefore came to this spot, where we are now. We returned to Quebec and informed General Haldimand. We had found this place, and he expressed his satisfaction that we had found a place that suited us, and that we and the Loyalists who would be among us would live happily together. General Haldimand also said he would send a surveyor to run out the lands for us, and we might know what was ours, and he sent Major Holland with us for that purpose. And the general added, you have now your choice in picking out such lands as you like, and he hoped we would always live happily and comfortable upon it. The tribe now here fixed on this place, and another tribe fixed on the Grand River. Colonel Claus wished to know what Indians were going to the Bay of Quinte and what to the Grand River. I told him I meant to set myself down at the Bay of Quinte, among the Loyalists, and Captain Brant at the Grand River. I informed Colonel Claus I was not fond of going to the Grand River, owing to their being so near to the Americans, and I told him I thought I could not live in peace so near these people, and made choice of this place as being a greater distance from them. The Americans are like a worm that cuts off the corn as it is beers. Sir John Johnson and Colonel Claus told us on leaving Lachine they were happy we were going to a place we had appointed for ourselves, and they hoped we should be happy and live in peace. When we quitted Lachine, Captain Isaac and his family thought proper to quit us and go to the Grand River to live there. On the 10th May 1784, Sir John Johnson and Colonel Claus desired us to come together, but Captain Isaac paid no attention to what they said, and he separated from us and went to the Grand River. Sir John Johnson and Colonel Claus also told me to guide my people in a proper manner, and as we were going to the country where there were other people, we ought to cultivate their friendship and live happily together. We arrived here 22nd of May and found a great number of native Mississaugas at this place, who were very glad to see us, and we were happy to be met in a friendly manner. We then held a council with the Mississaugas and informed them our great father had purchased these lands for us, and that we had come to sit down on them. I told them the king's people were also coming to inhabit this country, which the Mississaugas had sold to the crown. We told them also the people who were coming to settle among us were bringing cattle and other stock, and we hoped that they would not disturb them or do them any damage. I also added, we shall be friends, and I hope you will not forget what I say. On the 25th August, 1785, Colonel Claus wrote to me from England that he was happy we were so comfortably settled and hoped we would abide by our religion and not give up on any account whatsoever. I then assembled my people and read them his letter. At this time, all of the people of the village were friends. I told them to continue in friendship and live in the manner we then did, and we should be happy and contented. And they assured me they would do so, and we were peace and quietness. On the 27th August 1788, Lord Dorchester and Sir John Johnson came to see us in the house where we now are, and told us they were very happy to see us, so comfortably settled, and that they had heard very good character of us, and that we had conducted ourselves very properly with the people of the settlement. After Lord Dorchester and Sir John Johnson were gone, I called my people together, and I told them what had been said of them, and advised them as they had a good character to behave well and preserve it. Brothers, those who are attached to me to this time continue to behave well as formerly. Some few days after Lord Dorchester went away, Captain Isaac and Captain Aaron arrived there with their parties from the Grand River. On the evening of the same day I held a council with them. They informed me there had been a great dispute among them at the Grand River, and that Captain Isaac and Captain Aaron with their parties intended to kill Captain Brant, and took arms for that purpose, and that they left the Grand River in consequence of the dispute. Captain Isaac and Captain Aaron with their parties went down to the country, and held a council with Lord Dorchester on the 16th September in the same year, when they told his lordship they could not live in peace and quietness at the Grand River, and had been obligated to leave it. When Lord Dorchester heard their story, he said he could not conceive it was Captain Brant's fault, but that it must be owing to some of themselves who had behaved improperly, and added it was in consequence of their ill behavior of the families of the hills, Captain Isaac and Captain Aaron. Then told his lordship that the dispute at the Grand River was consequence of Captain Brant bringing white people to settle on their lands. Lord Dorchester then told them, if that was the case of the disagreement, he could easily settle it, for he would order all the white people off the lands. If his lordship had done so, none of the disturbance of the late unfortunate business which had happened here would have taken place, as what has happened was through the means of a white man among us, in the name of Merkel. It was mentioned yesterday that I went down to Montreal, and no one knew on what business. I went down 10th October 1797 to ask the favor of Sir John Johnson to assist me in repairing the church. Mr. Stewart had formerly obtained £50 for that purpose, but it was expended but £10, which Mr. Stewart informed me of, and at the same time requested that the young men of the village might cut timber to erect the steeple, but none of them except my own people would do it. I therefore went down to Montreal to solicit some more assistance towards erecting the steeple and getting a place fixed for the 10 Commandments, that they might be out of danger from weather or other accidents. That in consequence of this application, the matter was laid before the General Prescott by Sir John Johnson, and directions were accordingly sent to Major Spencer to set up a carpenter to make an estimate of the expense, which was done, and the repair of the church completed accordingly.
Captain John then produced a copy of Major Green's expenses. Letter to Major Spencer, dated Quebec, 30th October, 1797, directing the estimate to be made by the master carpenter Russell and sent down for the General's approbation.
On the same day that I applied to Sir John Johnson for assistance towards the church, he told me it was not intended by government that white people should settle on our lands, which we for the Indians only, and the children's children to the latest prosperity, and that no individual should make any regulation among them without the consent of the whole. When I returned from Montreal, I called the village together to acquaint them with what I had done, and they all assembled but Captain Isaac, who did not think proper to attend us as usual. He always makes excuses for not appearing in any council, saying he was sick or at work. When Isaac's people were assembled, I asked them where was their chief and why he did not come. That they never made his appearance when I called a council, though I always strove and did my best for the good of the village. I wish the chiefs would consider and pay more attention to the good of the village as well as themselves. I said there could be no excuse for your chief never coming. He has a horse, and he can come if he pleases. A chief named Peter, one of Isaac's band, then told me in council that they would leave the transacting of all their business to me, and that I might do as I please. I told them I meant to take care of the village, and that I had established it. It was proper I should do so, About the same time, Captain Isaac called a council among his own people and said, "We will be separate party by ourselves and have nothing to do with Captain John or his party." And they have continued a separate party ever since.
They talk of the money received at Albany. That was long after they broke out in their parties and divided, which had been partially the case for 7 years past.
I am accused with regard to the $500. Isaac has had a grudge against me for 20 years. If they meant to spill blood, why did they not aim it at me, as I am the person they blame? They say the blood which has been spilt is on account of this money. But how can that be? Captain Aaron went to Albany in 1784 and disposed of a piece of land belonging to the Mohawks, the amount of a considerable sum of goods, and in money. In the year 1790, Captain Brant and Captain David went to Fort Stanwix and sold the same lands, the property of the Mohawks at Fort Hunter, for which they were to receive $1,000. On Captain Isaac's first coming here, I requested him to ask Captain Aaron who was his relation. What was become of the money and goods he got for the land he sold in Albany? The answer I received from Captain Isaac was that they had lost their country. He paid no attention to it and gave it up and refused to ask Aaron anything about it. Although at the same time, Captain Isaac had received his dividend of money and goods received by Aaron for these lands. And as a proof that he did so, I call on Justice Thomas to declare what he knows about it.
I did not see Captain Isaac receive anything for these lands. But the widow Hill saw a payment made to Isaac, and she asked me whether I had received his share of it. My answer to her was, "No, I have not, although I have an equal right with others."
Captain John proceeded.
Soon afterwards it was mentioned in council that we had heard there were yet lands at Sacandaga, undisposed of, and we thought it was proper to send a party thither to inquire about it. The intelligence was from a white man named Miller of Ballstown, stating the Mohawks had still land their property in that place.
Adjourned till the next day, September 5th at 10 o'clock.